We all face giants. Giants of fear. Giants of debt. Giants of political chaos. Giants of uncertainty about tomorrow. The headlines are loud. The pressure feels heavy. And sometimes we feel small. But what if your giant isn't there to defeat you? What if it's there to reveal your faith? In the biblical account of 1 Samuel 17, the entire nation of Israel stood frozen in fear. For 40 long days, a Philistine giant named Goliath stepped forward, morning and evening, and mocked them. This wasn't just any man. He was a spectacle of intimidation. Standing over 9 feet tall, covered head to toe in bronze armor, and wielding a spear like a weaver's beam, he had been a warrior from his youth. Every single soldier, from the seasoned veteran to the new recruit, saw the same thing: an enemy far too big to defeat. And so, a paralyzing fear spread through the camp like a virus, immobilizing an entire army. They saw the problem, but they forgot their God. Then, a young man named David arrived on the scene. He wasn't a trained warrior. He wasn't a military strategist or a political leader. He wasn't someone anyone expected to make a difference. David was just a shepherd boy, sent by his father to bring food to his brothers on the front lines. But while the entire army saw a giant they couldn't possibly fight, David saw something completely different. He saw a man who was defying the living God. And with a heart stirred by righteous indignation, David asked a question that cut through the fear. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He wasn't looking at the size of the man. He was looking at the size of the offense against his God. This simple question changed everything. Word of David's courage reached King Saul, who summoned the boy. Saul, looking at the situation from a worldly perspective, tried to equip David for a worldly fight. He offered his own royal armor, his own helmet, his own sword. But David refused. He tried them on and immediately knew they weren't right. David understood a profound truth that we so often forget. Victory doesn't come from what you wear or the weapons you carry. It comes from who you trust. His confidence wasn't in bronze or steel, but in the God who had delivered him from the lion and the bear. Standing before Goliath, David made one of the most powerful declarations of faith in history. You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. The world trusts in power. God's people are called to trust in him. And then came the turning point. David walked toward the stream, completely calm. He picked up 5 smooth stones. No fear. No hesitation. Just a quiet, resolute faith. He placed 1 stone in his sling. 1 sling. 1 stone. One single act of courage fueled by an unwavering belief in God's power. He ran toward the giant, swung the sling, and released the stone. It flew straight and true, striking the Philistine on the forehead, and the giant fell face down on the ground. The very army that once trembled in terror now rose up with a mighty roar and celebrated. The obstacle that seemed absolutely unbeatable was defeated not by an army's might, but by a shepherd's faith. Now, let's bring this home to our lives today. Maybe your giant isn't a 9-foot-tall warrior. Maybe it's the rising cost of living that keeps you up at night. Maybe it's the bitter political division that strains relationships with people you love. Maybe it's a constant nagging anxiety about the future, or a private battle with loneliness or discouragement that no one else even sees. The principle remains the same. The story of David teaches us that God doesn't choose the strongest, the most equipped, or the most qualified by the world's standards. He strengthens the faithful. The size of your giant does not determine the outcome. The size of your faith in God does. It's about shifting your focus from the obstacle in front of you to the God who stands beside you. If you are facing a giant in your life today, please know you don't have to fight it alone. This channel, Daily Bread, is here to provide you with your daily dose of spiritual healing, biblical encouragement, and life-giving truth. I invite you to subscribe and join our community. And always remember this powerful truth: the same God who delivered David from the giant is still fighting for you today. Thanks for watching.